Well, sinking our teeth right now, trying our best not to move away from the politics of it to the problem itself, which is security as an issue. And you already heard there the senators laying the background for what is also part of the problem, arms proliferation. Joining us right now to discuss this problem is Mr. Vince Onyekwelu, who is a former British police officer and a security analyst. Vince, you're welcome to Sunrise
Thanks
Daily.
for having me.
I was just going to ask you, is this a lost cause? I mean, arms proliferation, especially the proliferation of small and light weapons, is something that we have been on for quite a while. I mean, we heard the Senate talking about it, and it does seem for some, I mean, only recently we had the Inspector General of Police asking, you know, the CPs in the different states to try and mop up arms from different groups. Is this a lost cause? Trying to mop up arms, you know, from people who shouldn't have them?
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense, it's almost a lost cause. Why do I say that? Because for you to be able to achieve this very huge operation of mopping up arms, there has to be a system in place. You cannot build a house without foundations. So they've got no foundation to do it. They're just talking. Everybody's just talking, but there's no foundation. No, in the sense that I believe in hope. I believe it's still possible.
What kind of foundation are you talking about?
Number one, how can you mop up arms when you are not able to secure our national borders where those arms coming to the country from? So, for example, if you've got 1 million firearms in Nigeria, you mop them up. As you are mopping them up, more are coming inside. Look at it where Nigeria is located in Africa. Up there, you've got Niger. Very, very questionable when it comes to their national security.
That's the Republic of Niger.
Yeah. Then up in Niger, you've got Libya. We know what goes on in Libya. And to their left, you've got Mali. And then if you got Chad Republic on the other end, there you've got Central African Republic. So if you understand African architecture very well, we are located strategically where we have to be very worried about our porous borders. So when I say there's no willpower, there's no foundation. So far our borders are porous. For these arms to come from Central African Republic, from Mali, from Libya, from Niger, from Chad, what is our chance?
So you say yes and no. So that is a yes part, is a lost cause. But what's the no part?
No, it's just like we have to have hope. Hope in the sense that we still believe in God. We still believe that a miracle can still happen. We still believe that somebody somewhere may wake up one day and say, this is not right. Let's start getting things right. So that's why I say I've got hope. But most experts will say, based on our structure, our location, our region, our porous borders, and lack of national ID systems, we don't know who comes into our country. As a fact, we don't know our national population. It's only a guesswork. 180, 170, 200, nobody knows. People come into Nigeria, we don't know if they're criminals. We don't know if they're kidnappers. We don't know if they're terrorists. Now, you're trying to mop up arms in a society. You don't even know who is Mike or who is Allah or who is Hassan. You don't even know.
Can we totally say that we don't know? Because we have seen, maybe it's, I don't want to think it's a miracle. I want to believe that indeed we have intelligence. We have our ears to the ground. Now, our intelligence agencies will have their ears to the ground. We have the DMI. We have the DSS. These agencies, in some, you know, sometimes have surprised us. They have been able to fish out some suspects, even where we would have thought, where we would not have been able to fish them out. Can we really give up and say that these people are not doing the kind of work that they ought to be doing?
When agencies of security are doing their job professionally, first of all, you have to think about prevention of criminal activities or mass killings. Because most of these firearms are used for mass killings, like what's going on in the Middle Belt right now. Now, you have to think about prevention. Then you have to think about intervention. If the prevention fails, we don't have any of those two. Because in prevention, you're supposed to have done a lot of surveillance, a lot of intelligence. How come for the past 3 years that we've had the same issue from Agatu, all through Taraba, all over the whole Middle Belt? And how many people do we have in prison, in custody, that are being arrested, prosecuted, and jailed? How come in the past 10 years in Nigeria that Boko Haram has been going on? How many people have been arrested, prosecuted, and jailed? How many surveillance, how many sting operations have been able to expose the cache of firearms in Nigeria? None. We heard about custom services stopping container loads of firearms. Where are they today? Case closed. Now, we've got this funny closure of criminal cases that if I say to you, let's ask them to give us files of the case on Agato in the past 3 years. Let's see what's inside that file. Who is in charge of the investigation? Is it ongoing or has it been shut down? So if we're talking about firearms proliferation in Nigeria, is the willpower there? Is there a foundation? Is there a serious determination for them to stop the usage and the massacre caused by those firearms? The truth is, no.
Our correspondent in Lagos has a question. Gimba?
Because when you hear Mr. President's statement saying that the killings across the country is aimed at instigating war in Nigeria, is there a direct relationship, do you think, with the proliferation of light weapons in the country?
Mr. President will always be very much informed. He's going to have the kind of quality information that you and me may not have. He's got his intelligence chiefs that probably give him information, and he's got loads of connection across West Africa and across the world. Remember, about 3 weeks ago, the Chief of Army Staff conducted this Land Force Summit in Abuja in Nigeria. So there's a chance that Mr. President has intelligence that we don't know. So I cannot question that information he's given. There's a possibility, a strong possibility. And obviously, looking at the Nigeria, even before Mr. President came into office, we've been having issues of firearms proliferation across Nigeria. So I think it's fair for us to respect his contribution to this. However, it's still, the buck comes back to his table. As a retired Major General, as an experienced security officer, what can he use his expertise, his years of experience to do to reduce, not to see an increase in the destruction of lives and properties through the same firearms?